Good evening. Can I have your attention for a few moments? We all know why we're here. Levi Okinov, where's Levi? Levi had this amazing dream a couple of years ago that so many mentally disabled population that don't have a home and don't have a place and don't have a sense of anything. And he started this amazing organization called the TEVYA upstate New York. TEVYA is two parts of it. One part of it is the physical structure where these people live and have quality of life that they enjoy. And part two is that, Levi, I'm talking. Levi is also part of it. It's not only the TEVYA, the structure of this institution, but it's the structure of Levi and what he does, making people feel good, giving a place to a person that doesn't have a place to sleep, food to eat. How many times would Levi call me 5 in the morning? We need 2 beds, 3 beds, or some food. So it's a wonderful thing. We'll be talking about it soon, about the entire concept in TEVYA and what TEVYA does and how important it is. But we have a special guest here tonight, a very special guest, and his time is limited. Rabbi Shmuly Boteach is known throughout the entire world, in Europe and the United States and Israel, as a rabbi who's really brought about change in the way people think about everyday things in life. And I know I live in Florida part of the year, and I know Rabbi spoke in Boca recently, right? Thousands of people called me up and said, "Mark, you missed that amazing speech." Rabbi Boteach's words are just sometimes simple, but so important to life. What it means to be a human being, what it means to be compassionate, what it means to be caring, what it means to be loving. And he explains it in this very special way. And as a political announcement, Rabbi Boteach happens to be a Republican candidate for Congress of the United States in New Jersey. He won the primary recently, and it's so exciting. We know he's working on a very tight schedule, so we want to thank him in advance for coming all the way out to Brooklyn to support this historic. Give him a nice hand, Rabbi Shmuly Boteach.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and Levi, who is a category unto himself. I am here for two principal reasons. First of all, I am here out of my deep love and affection for my friend Levi Okinov, who is a man with a large heart that he has always utilized to bring people together and to help people. And the second reason I am here is to get that phone call is to get a discount on a suit for the new company that Levi is establishing. And I felt that if I drove all the way here from New Jersey for these brief remarks, Levi would feel deeply indebted and would be forced to give me the friends and family discount. So when Rubinov is launched, don't forget me, Levi, okay? I need a new kapota.
This will be special.
Okay. Those were the two reasons that I came. When I arrived, I saw that there was a third reason. I have, throughout my life, I have been vertically challenged, which is a sophisticated way of saying that I have been short throughout my life. And I don't think it will change anytime soon. So when I saw those boots right in front of me, what's your name, please? What's your name, please?
I'm
Pessy?
Pessy.
Pessy. Hi, Pessy. How are you? So when I saw your boots, I immediately knew that I had to ask you where you bought them.
I designed and painted them myself.
Did you really? And can you design me a pair?
I don't do boots anymore, but thank you for asking.
How about if I traded you for, say, 50 unsold copies of my book, Moses of Oxford, which nobody bought?
No, sorry.
And you can stack them up and stand on them, you'll be even taller.
No, I love my little babies. No,
Okay.
I can't change them, no.
The one great truth of the Torah, the one great truth of the Bible, is that human beings are created in the image of God. Equally and of infinite value. It is the one great truth which is offered in the very first chapter of the Torah. B'Tselem Elokim bara es ha'adam, that God fashioned man in his own image. And yet it has been the one great truth that has been assaulted, assailed, contradicted, denied, suppressed. If you had darker skin, you were said to be less human. If you had a different faith, and we Jews know what it's like to be oppressed by virtue of our faith, then you were less human. Heck, if you had a different gender, if you were a woman, you were often treated as far less equal. It seems that after thousands of years of recorded history, humanity has yet to learn that simple truth, that we are all of infinite value and we are all equal. Perhaps this applies most of all to those who face mental health challenges, where their basic humanity is so often denied, where they are seen as a nuisance, an irritant, shunned. Shunned so completely that those who often have mental health challenges have to consciously deny it and not seek help for fear of being stigmatized, for fear of being ostracized, for fear of being rejected and abandoned, left alone and unloved. Hitler did not come after the Jews first. They were second. He first came after the mentally disabled. And you'll notice that there was barely an outcry when he started to murder them. Maybe some even felt that this burden on society was finally being lifted. But because their humanity was denied and people did not see the horrors of his actions, because it was being directed at the mentally infirm, the Holocaust was not prevented. When you deny the humanity of a single group, you have denied the humanity of every group. When one group suffers in silence, it causes other groups to suffer, even loudly, because by that time, people have tuned out human suffering. The Jewish community the Jewish community in general, and the religious community in particular, the Orthodox Jewish community, does not excel at recognizing mental health challenges. In our communities, we often consciously deny the prevalence of mental health challenges. And in fact, if you are a parent who has a child who is mentally challenged with any kind of mental illness, you hide the child away very often, so as not to infringe on the other children's shidduch opportunities. I cannot tell you how often I've seen in Hasidic circles, if there is a child who's Down syndrome, the child is cast aside so that the community doesn't even know of his or her existence, lest it color the shidduch prospects of his or her siblings. That's an abomination, my friends. That's an abomination. That is a religious abomination. That is putrid and foul, disgusting and abhorrent. It seems that when it comes to mental illness, we religious people have so much to learn from secular people who are prepared to acknowledge, it seems to me, the humanity of those who suffer mental illness more than religious people often are. That's why what Levi is doing is so important and so relevant and so inspirational. To take people who are suffering and to give them a home, a community. People who love them and care for them, and most of all, befriend them. If that isn't the mitzvah, then the word mitzvah has no meaning. If that isn't a virtuous act, then the word virtue itself has been rendered meaningless. I have yet to visit the TEVYA. I have yet to be invited by Levi. I wanted to come last summer. My wife and children visited. They picked blueberries. They picked blueberries and they smoked weed.
Sorry. I said that too loud. I like it.
Actually, I'm just kidding. You all know that. You know that would be a joke, because the truth is that they smoked weed and then picked blueberries.
Wait till your opponent gets a hold of it.
They never will.
It was Levi who lobbied the Reverend Pat Robertson to legalize marijuana. Now for the truth. My wife and children visited the TEVYA and picked blueberries, which I later ate. I could not join them, but I could partake of the blueberries. So it turns out that there are indeed, Levi, some seriously forbidden fruit at the TEVYA. But I want to come for Shabbos if I'm ever invited. And a lot of people in my life have called me Meshuggah, Levi. Levi, many people have called me Meshuggah. So, come on. The invitation is waiting. Good times will come to humanity, my friends.